I started bawling, and this woman was like, I bet she was just like, is this girl an orphan? Like, does she have a family? Like, the way I was crying was as if like I just didn't know. Like, it was so funny. And she was like, oh honey, where do you live? Like, it was as if I was like lost in the Walmart. Hi everyone, this is Bianca. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel. Today I'm going to give you an ancestry update as far as, you know, how that's been going with my journey, and then also I'm going to give you like an overview on DNA.Land and what that's all about, and a little review, and I'm also going to share my results and how to use the website. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Okay, so my ancestry update. So as I said in my previous ancestry video, I had been emailing back and forth one specific cousin. Since then I've gotten in contact with another cousin, but it's apparently someone who shares blood with my great grandfather, who's Indian, or who's like from India, from India. So and that's just kind of like a lot, because my dad didn't know him or anything, so I don't even know how I even do that tree and if it's worth it, but to follow that lead. But I definitely, you know, whatever he knows, I would like to know. But I contacted him and we've been kind of talking a little bit via email. But the interaction that I think is the most exciting is the one that I told you guys about in the previous video, and he had the same last name as my, so in the previous video, the guy that I referred to, he has the same last name as my my grandmother's maiden name. So that was very enlightening and interesting. So he's been traveling here and there, and he was like, hey, if you want to do WhatsApp, let's, you know, we can call each other through WhatsApp, because he has an international phone number. So we set it up, and he was like, oh, I can talk right now. And so he just calls me, and I gave him my phone number, and he called me through WhatsApp, and he's like, hey, and I don't know, like, when you could feel that you're related to someone. The way they talk, the way they say things, the way they joke, like, he was just so similar to me. I mean, I'm a little bit of a nerd, and he's a little bit of a nerd too, but it was just very refreshing to know that nerdiness is definitely like a genetic disposition. So his family tree on Ancestry.com was set to private, so I couldn't really see all of the details. So then he set me to become an editor on there so I can see everything. And so once I saw it, I was like searching my grandmother's name, and I saw nothing on there with her name. So I was just kind of like discouraged, because I'm like, I don't even know who you are. Like, how do I fit in all this? It says that I'm a third cousin of yours, but I'm really confused because it's not coming up. I was slowly discouraged. And so then he was like, well, my mom, you know what we could do, we could set up maybe something with my mom, you can talk to her. So he was saying his mom, so that we can kind of trade off information and probably try to figure out where the relationship is. I was like, okay, well, that's fine, you know. And I wasn't really keen on that, because I just was kind of like, this can't possibly be it. Like, I don't know who these people are now at this point. I didn't see any names. The spelling's kind of off with the last name, so I was just like, there's no way, like, that this is possible, that they are my family. So I was just kind of shutting down that whole possibility that they were related to me. He's like, oh yeah, my mom should be up right now. Let me just call her and preface, pregame her on the situation, and then she'll talk to you. I was like, oh no, I don't even know what questions to start. I don't even know where to start with her. Like, I'm not ready to talk to her. It's fine. He's like, no, she's cool. She'll know everything. She'll answer all your questions. And I'm just like, probably not. It's like, man, I'm gonna have to talk to her, and I'm not gonna know what's going on, and it's just gonna be a whole thing. I'm gonna be more disappointed, right? So then he calls me back, and he's like, okay, she's good to go, just call her. And I'm like, okay. I just felt weird just calling someone cold, like being like, hey, you know, hi, I don't know who you are, and I don't know how you're related to me, but this is what it is. Like, I don't know, it was really awkward to me. I was really hesitant to talk to her. So then I talked to her, I call her, and she picks up the phone, and she legit sounds like my mom. She has the same sweet, I mean, I think all Caribbean women have a sweet voice, and that's the only way I can call it, specifically women from St. Vincent. I think there's like the sweetness in their voice. And she, yeah, so anyway, she picked up, she sounded just like my mom, And I said, hi, I don't know what to do with any of this. You know, I don't know how to start, where to start, but my mom's name is Marcella. And she's like, oh, Auntie Daita's daughter. And I'm like, what? And she's like, Auntie Daita. And I was like, you know, my mom's, you know, my grandmother's name was Daita. She was like, oh yeah, her. We call her Daita for short. I was like, that moment I started crying. Like, I started bawling. I started crying because I was just like, this is crazy, you know? Like, it was just, we don't have a lot of family, like extended family. I think, like, for example, I was growing up, I never had cousins growing up. Like, I didn't have any of that. We just had my family unit, and that was it. My mom does speak to her sisters, but that's about it. So it was just my family unit, and that was it. So I started bawling, and this woman was like, I bet she was just like, is this girl an orphan? Like, does she have a family? Like, the way I was crying was as if, like, I just didn't know. It was so funny. And she was like, oh honey, where do you live? Like, it was as if I was like lost in the Walmart. And I'm 7 years old, and I'm a little kid lost in the Walmart crying and wondering, where's my mommy? Like, that's exactly how I sounded, and how she responded to me was like, girl, like, but she was so sweet about it. I'm not trying to say she was like dismissive or anything like that. She was so sweet, but I just felt so stupid at the same time. I was just like, oh my God, science is amazing. So one thing I also want to say, criticism I want to say, is a lot of people are like, oh, I liken this whole process to horoscopes. I'm like, well, if it's a horoscope, then I wouldn't have been able to connect with someone else. So I just don't understand that concept. Please comment down below how you guys feel about like the skepticism towards Ancestry DNA and all these genetic websites. I know that people don't like to be on the system because they think that there's a way to like basically like find things out about certain people and be able to like control them. I don't know, there's like, if you go into that part of YouTube, you'll hear a lot of interesting conspiracy theories about Ancestry DNA and whatnot. If you choose to believe that, that's fine, it's up to you, but I think it's science. Like, I am a science-minded person, and so they want to do research on genetics and all of that. So all that to be said, because all that, I just think it's so amazing because I did not know like her. And so guess what, like, long story short, my mom has connected with her cousin, because that's her cousin, that's my mom's cousin, that she lost contact with because when she immigrated into the United States, the airport lost all her pictures, all her baggage, all of, at the time, you know, they have cell phones that save your phone number, so all of the phone numbers of all of her loved ones, she lost everything. So when she came here, she was scrambling to try to get people's names, like get people's phone numbers, call one person that she might have memorized their phone number and be like, hey, can you tell so-and-so, like, let them know, like, I'm here, da-da-da. Like, she couldn't get in contact with anyone. So that was really frustrating for her. And it was really frustrating for, you know, I'm sure her side of the family, her other family, that just like, she just fell off the face of the earth type of thing, right? So, but yeah, talking to my, I guess she's my second cousin, because the third cousin was the one, basically my mom's, I guess if she's my mom's cousin, she's my second. If she's my mom's cousin, she's my second cousin. So that's how it works, I guess. And then her son is my third cousin, which is crazy, but whatever. I don't know, but I don't, how do you guys feel also about like calling cousins that are older than you cousins? Like, she's like my mom's age. I think she's about older or younger than my mom, but she's my mom's age, so I don't feel comfortable calling her my cousin. Like, I feel more comfortable calling her my aunt. How do you guys feel? Comment also down below on that, because that's a really interesting topic. Because out of respect, I don't know, I just feel it's kind of weird to be like, oh, she's my cousin, but she's like 30 years older than me. But anyways, all right, so that's pretty much my ancestry update on that. I'll tell you about any leads about the other cousin that I got in contact, but it's been really great. Oh, and then also a most important thing is that I am going to Canada, to Banff National Park for my anniversary, for my wedding anniversary in June, and she lives in Canada, literally a few miles away, and so guess what? I am going to see her, so I'm so excited, like, and I'll be able to connect with her and meet her, and it's perfect because she's been off work, and it's just like, she was just like, everything happens at a certain time for the right reason. So I'm just so blessed and happy, and this has just been really great. So again, definitely I would recommend you guys do the Ancestry DNA. I've been putting Ancestry DNA like on so hard, only just because like I feel like they've done something that's like completely invaluable to my life. Like I feel like there's no value to knowing where you're reconnecting with family. Like family is everything, right? And so I've been able to do that and connect my mom with her cousin that she really got along with, and they really liked each other. So I'm gonna see her this summer, and then my mom's gonna try to see her. She's gonna try to come down here to see my mom. And then what else? Yeah, but they connected, they talked for like, they actually talked to each other for like 3 hours, and like just reconnected and everything. And so it's just beautiful, guys. Like, I know a lot of people, again, they have conspiracy theories about why they're trying to collect the information, but I'm not in the business to sit here and try to speculate on something that is not, there's no evidence for. Like, all I can say is all the evidence that I've seen about those type of things is anecdotal, just like 1 story, 2 stories. For me, I see the value in reconnecting with family. Like, I have a friend whose dad is adopted, so you know, like that'd be amazing to know what her ethnicity is, because she's kind of racially ambiguous. So because of that, and it's on mainly because of her dad's side, so it's like those type of things I think are so invaluable, especially for people who are just don't know their genetic makeup or their ethnic origin. So now let's get into DNA land.